Greetings from London. Hi. Sorry I wasn't able to do a Fragment Friday last week. It was very busy. It was our first day in London, like first official day over jet lag in London, and we were doing some fun stuff. And I was very tired, so I didn't have time. So I'm gonna be recording my Fragment Friday today on Thursday because I'm sick in the flat and I have time to do it. So this week I'm gonna be reading from Forget You, because I'm currently reading it and I have about 20 pages left, and it's really good and I like it. So basically, this book's about Zoe. She got in a car accident. She can't remember what happened the night before, anything that happened before the wreck, basically. And she's trying to figure out what happened, why she's with Doug, who hasn't really liked her up until that point after the wreck. And it's all about that. So I'm going to be reading from chapter 3. Forget You. It's actually going to be the car wreck scene, and there's some bad language, so just watch out. There's one curse word. So, Forget You. Here we go. Zoe. I'm up. I sat straighter on whatever I'd slumped against. It had a bottom and a high back, so it must be a sofa. Whose sofa? I hope no one had seen me falling asleep in public. I was captain of the swim team, a school leader. I couldn't go around falling asleep just anywhere. And I wasn't drunk. I never lost control that way, ever. You had a wreck. It took me a second to place the smooth voice. Doug. His voice had the slightest edge, like he'd seen the wreck happen, and was a little freaked out, but was trying to remain calm. You need to get out of the car. Issuing commands was not Doug's usual style. Getting pissed when other people issued commands, yes. Issuing them himself, no. When he was telling me what to do, now he was telling me what to do, and it scared me. I was in the driver's seat, and I slid towards his voice on the passenger side. He was lying on the ground and leaning through the doorway, half in and half out of the car. Headlights from outside blanked his face like an overexposed photo in shades of white. His hair hung black over his forehead, and his shadowed eyes were like two black sockets. Something must be horribly wrong. I totaled my bug, I wailed. Yes, you did, he said grimly. Did I total your Jeep? Get out of the car. He nodded towards the empty space beside him in the doorway. Get out of the car now, Zoe. I slid further toward him. When I reached the passenger side, the dashboard leaned so far forward that it blocked my way. To get by, I had to draw my legs up onto the seat. Then I slid them beside Doug on the ground and stood up, and fell down, splattering into mud. That's what I was afraid of, Doug called from several feet away. You can't stand up? I can stand up, I protested. It was better to lie down, though. I just wished the headlights from the car I hit weren't so bright, streaming into my eyes. Long blades of grass glowed green around us, and white raindrops streaked down on us. Beyond the small circle where we lay, the night was black, and I couldn't see. I felt him crawling beside me until his face was even with mine. He rose above me, his arms circling me, warm after the cold, wet grass. He hoisted me upward and groaned. I am not fat, I said. Of course you're not fat. Now he sounded like he was talking with his teeth clenched. Brandon told me I looked like I've gained weight since the summer. He hadn't meant it as an insult. He was just kidding around, flirting with me. I'd actually lost weight since the competitive swim season began. But since Brandon had texted that message to me on Tuesday, I'd skipped breakfast just to make sure. Brandon, grunted Doug as he took a big step and slugged me forward. Ken, he took another step and groaned again. Kiss my broken ass. He let me slide through his arms to the ground, and he collapsed beside me. From this distance, through the bright raindrops in the dark night, I could see the two cars kissing each other with steam rising from their lips. My bug, and definitely not Doug's Jeep. Whose car? Mike's Miata. Mike Abrams? I'd wrecked the whole swim team. He's not hurt, but he's stuck inside. He's calling 911. We'll get help soon, don't worry. I hadn't been worried, but now that he brought it up, the gravity of the situation sank in. It was night. It was raining. We crashed head on. And Doug must be hurt, or he wouldn't be lying down in the grass in a rainstorm. Doug, I'm so sorry. Sorry? It's not your fault. Don't you remember what happened? You and Mike both swerved to keep from hitting a deer in the road. No, I didn't remember the deer. Is the deer okay? Fuck the deer. Hush now. Gently he drew me to him and pressed down on the back of my neck until I lay my head on his chest. It was totally innocent. Doug was comforting me after we'd been in Iraq together. Brandon still would not approve, but I couldn't do anything about it because I felt dizzy. My hands found Doug's t-shirt and I gripped fistfuls of fabric to keep from falling off the edge of the earth. I nuzzled his warm chest. He smelled faintly of chlorine. He stroked my hair, which had fallen free of the bun I knotted. He stroked from the roots all the way past my shoulders to the ends, firmly with both hands, in a way I hadn't even known I'd ache for Brandon to touch me. Lightning flashed, thunder rolled, and a dull roar of rain grew louder. Doug sucked in a slow breath through his teeth and let it out just as slowly. At first, I thought he was doing a deep breathing exercise we learned on the swim team, and I was going to joke that we didn't have nearly enough water for swimming, even with all this rain. As I opened my mouth to murmur against his chest, I heard the shudder in his exhalation. He must be dizzy like I was, trying to keep control. He needed comfort just like I did. I put one hand in his hair. It was soaked. His hand massaged the back of my neck. His chest rose and fell under me like waves as I swam in the ocean. Some time must have passed because the police couldn't have materialized from thin air. The siren shrieked in one of my ears. Doug's heart throbbed under my other ear, and his voice rumbled in his chest. He talked to a policeman somewhere above us. I didn't bother looking. The blue lights were too bright. I squeezed my eyes shut against them. She hit her head, I heard Doug say. I didn't hit my head, I corrected him. I didn't remember hitting anything. She hit her head, Doug repeated, and my leg's broken. Oh, I tried to roll off him. I'd known he was hurt, yet I was lying on top of him like I needed coddling when I wasn't hurt at all. But his arms tightened around me, and I couldn't move. Well, fine then. I was still dizzy, and Doug was a warm blanket. Then how'd you get over here? Asked the policeman. I opened one eye. With the headlight shining on his back and the blue light circling him, I couldn't see his darkened face. Did you carry her over here with a broken leg? More or less, Doug murmured. His fingers stroked my wet hair. I jerked alert when the policeman asked, "What the hell for?" His tone and his words didn't sound official and cop-like. It was Doug's brother, Officer Fox. Jesus, Doug, he said, you probably screwed your leg for nothing. I had to get her away from the car in case it exploded, Doug snapped. Can you shut up and go do your duty and let Mike out of the Miata before it bursts into flames? Thanks. You dumbass, Officer Fox said. Cars don't explode on impact. I giggled. Doug, you're my hero. Then, hoping I hadn't offended him, I hugged him hard and whispered in his ear. It's the thought that counts. I wasn't sure whether he laughed with me, but he did hug me back, and he never took his hands out of my hair. I laughed myself to sleep. So that's a little excerpt from Get You. So if you liked it, go ahead and pick it up and read it because it's really good. So, Forget You. See you hopefully next Friday.